You've already started, right?
Your push and play.
You already started?
Yep.
Okay. I just poured me a Miller Lite. Less filling, tastes great. I think it's got like 4 carbs. How many carbs does this have, baby? 96 calories, I think 4 carbohydrates.
I don't really drink dairy.
So this is my new favorite beer. I've never been a big fan of it. I don't know why. I do know why, but it's a long story for another time. But I like the taste of it. So the only problem is this is a 16-ounce can, and I have a 12-ounce glass. So there's some difficulty there. 4 ounces worth. Anyway, my loving wife wanted me to get on here and show my little music haul for the day, what we got. Got a few things. First of all, I'm going to start out. This is a little off the wall thing, but I saw it and I was like, oh wow, that's cool. It's $5. Lo and behold, it wasn't exactly what I thought it was. I saw this Star Trek James T. Kirk. It says 12-inch tall figure. It's a model. I didn't know that. So, am I ever going to do this model? No, I'm not. So I got suckered in. But it was only $5, kind of cool. Whatever. I don't know. Maybe when we do the bar thing, I'll have it up there. Music hall today. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 CDs and like 5 albums. The CDs I think were all either $1 or $1.50 a piece. So the first one is the best of REM in time. I used to have a ton of CDs. I was an 80s kid, and so 90s. Maybe our Home Depot is interested in something. It just came across the screen.
On my phone?
Yeah, but I used to have this CD. It's a great CD. It's got it's got pretty much every REM song you're familiar with. So great CD to have. Great find. I didn't have that already. I've actually got a copy of this. It is, and there's glare, baby, on that light. It's the best of Bowie. Yeah, that's fine. The best of Bowie, and it's actually 2 CDs. So there's 1, and then 2, 1,
That's
2.
so dark.
So it's actually 2 CDs, but man, like I said, I already had a copy of this, but for $1, I'll give this one away, or something like that. It's a great CD to have. It pretty much covers David Bowie top to bottom. Queensryche, Operation Mindcrime. Queensryche is a Seattle band from the 80s. You guys might remember them. They had Empire, Silent Lucidity. That album was actually called Empire. This is Operation Mindcrime, a little bit earlier. This album is, it's not really metal, but a little heavier. If you're a musician, it's a pretty renowned CD. So I saw this, it was $1.50, got it. The other one is Mad Season. Mad Season, this was a 90s album. It was Lane Staley, who is the lead singer for Alice in Chains. I think it's Mike McCready. Either Mike McCready or Stone Gossard, who the guitarist for Pearl Jam, and they put together a little side project, Mad Season. It's a little different, but I like it. And also the hype sticker. This is back when they actually put hype stickers on CDs too, just like some albums will have the hype sticker. You may or may not know the hype sticker actually makes it a little bit more valuable.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, you did.
No, until you told me, I didn't know.
Yeah, she didn't know that until we talked about it one day. I got a Fine Young Cannibals album. I'm not familiar with this album or CD, whatever you want to call it. And this has some like mixes on it, but I like Fine Young Cannibals, so I was like, yeah, I'll get that. Last but not least, this was actually the first one I found for the day. It was $1. OJ's Greatest Hits. There's a glare. I don't know what it is. It's like stereoscopic from the phone camera back into the CD, so it will go on in for infinity. But this has backstabbers on it. That's what I was looking for. You know, Love Train. Those are probably the two biggest songs, Love Train and Backstabbers. But OJ's Greatest Hits, saw it. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta have that. Albums, I got a couple really. I was pretty excited. I haven't gotten excited about album like as far as like, oh wow, that's a cool deal. But I saw this at a booth, and it was like on the very front. They had probably 30 albums. Notoriously, my what I call myself is I'm the world's worst thrift store or flea market guy. I'm picky and I'm cheap, and so a lot, especially as albums have gotten more expensive over the past year and a half, I've started buying less and less albums. There were like 3 different vendors out there selling albums. But I don't buy them from those guys because literally I know who they are. Their albums are $20, $25, $30, $50, and I'm just not interested in that. So I'm a bargain shopper. But I saw this. This was on another just kind of a booth that happened to have some albums. So I saw this right out front. I go, oh, I'm gonna go see how much that Eurythmics album is. She had $7 on it. And I'll show you, this came with a couple other albums. She had $7 on it, and so I had this album, and then Lou Reed, Sally Can't Dance. This is from, that's too bright. Turn that one, well, that's all right. This is fine. It's fine. This is from '74. Usually when you see this album, it's like legit. This is a legit $30 album. So you don't see very many copies of it. 2, you can tell the jacket and everything is in very good condition. So I was pretty excited to see this. She had it marked at $14. There's one other album in here that was paired with those 3, and probably the album that I got most excited about. This is actually, if you look right here, Jimmy Page. Well, it looks backwards, but Jimmy Page and Roy Harper. Jimmy Page, as you guys may or may not know, was the guitarist for Led Zeppelin. He is actually the one that formulated Led Zeppelin, started Led Zeppelin. So he is on this album. Roy Harper, Led Zeppelin actually has a song that's called Hats Off to Roy. It's about Roy Harper. Roy Harper, coincidentally, also, if you've heard the song Have a Cigar, Pink Floyd, Roy Harper actually sings that song on that album. He happened to be in the studio just with Pink Floyd. He wasn't being part of the album or anyway. The name of the album's Wish You Were Here. But David Gilmour did a vocal track on that album. I can't remember the bass player's name. You guys help me out. Golly, what's his name, baby? Alex went and saw him.
Who?
The bass player for Pink Floyd.
Don't give me.
Slips my mind. But anyway, they both did bass track, or they both did vocal tracks. They didn't like the vocal tracks. They did it a few times. They did a few tracks. They couldn't do it. They didn't like it. Roy Harper just happened to be in the studio, and they go, or he said, "Hey, let me sing it once." Sang it once. That's the track you hear now on the radio on the album.
Just
so
one time?
yeah. They had done several takes. He did one take, and they go, "That's it."
Jimmy Page?
Roy Harper.
Roy Harper.
So cool thing so Roy.
Tell him you're.
I will, yeah. So interestingly enough, so Jimmy Page, Roy Harper, the bass player on this album, his name's Tony Franklin. I'm on Twitter, Classic Music Machine, if you want to follow it.
Can we pause? Can you pull it up and show him? It's very cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's very cool. I mean, I don't normally jump in his music, but because I don't know anything. But
so here it is right here. So I wrote, kind of excited about this little find, Jimmy Page, Roy Harper, and his Twitter handle is Fretless Monster. So I was like, at Fretless Monster Tony Franklin.
So he posted it.
So I posted that on Twitter, and then you can see above it, you're too high. you can see above it that Tony Franklin responded.
Isn't that fun?
Which he does a lot. Okay, baby. He does that a lot. He responds a lot, which is cool because you can interact with him. But he said that album is very special and meaningful to me. My second album with Roy, my introduction to Jimmy Page, which ultimately led to me being in The Firm. If you haven't heard The Firm, highly, highly recommend The Firm. It's Jimmy Page. It's Paul Rogers, who was the lead singer for Bad Company. Tony Franklin plays bass. Chris Slade on the drums. I really dig that stuff. I've got the first Firm album. I've actually got an unopened copy, a sealed copy from 1985. And so kind of a cool backstory with that album. And I've never seen this album before. It wasn't highly produced, so pretty excited about this. But so those three albums, the Jimmy Page, Roy Harper, Lou Reed, and the Eurythmics, she had them marked $31 total for all three. And she ended up selling to me for $20. Another cool little backstory. These were all part of her collection. These were her albums from when she was young. So I always think that's kind of cool too when, hey, because these are all in very good condition. You can tell she took care of them. And so I think it's cool, versus they've made their rounds through stores and in and out of people's hands. It's just, hey, from one person that really she cherished them because she's kept them all these years. And to me, who obviously I take really good care of my albums and cherish them, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to touch them.
She can't touch them. She's not allowed. Okay, so a couple more albums. One is, I got this for $5. It was marked 8. I got it for 5. Escape Club. It's from the 80s. Any 80s pop is kind of hard to find in vinyl because that was in the era. This was probably 86, 87.
Cassette tapes.
Let me see here. I don't see, but I'm guessing this is 87. Give or take a year. Might be 88, might be 86. But their big song on this was Wild West. Wild, Wild West. Wild West. So anyway. Anyway, that stuff, that was kind of in the, like Amy said, in the cassette era. Vinyl had taken a decline. Cassettes were really the medium of choice. And then a couple of years later, CDs became what was popular. So anytime you find albums, especially in good shape, that are from the mid to late 80s, it's kind of an instant buy for me. Never seen this album before, and I'm not a big fan of it, but I was like, oh yeah, I gotta have that, especially for $5.
Wow, West.
Wild West. I'm gonna take a drink of my beer.
I'm trying to think of the rest of the words, but I can't. But I know the song.
And then finally, this is the last one we found. We went by another little flea market thrift store place in Sapulpa, and I ran across this for $3.95. Jefferson Airplane. It is a repress. It's not from 1967 probably. I don't know.
What?
You guys know better than I.
Jefferson Airplane goes back.
Oh yeah.
How far
Yeah.
back did they go?
Oh.
I thought they were just like...
No, 67, 68. Yeah, because they were originally Jefferson Airplane, then they were Jefferson Starship, then they were Starship.
So that's what I know them as, Jefferson
Starship,
I'm like,
yeah.
I know Airplane.
Yeah.
Starship is what I know from junior high.
Yeah. Jefferson Starship and Starship. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, this is a repress. One way you know that it's a repress, it's something I always look for when I see an album this early. One, usually albums from the 60s have more, kind of like this Lou Reed album, it's more of a dull finish. It's not glossy, it's not shiny. So that's the first kind of giveaway, is when you see one that's this shiny on it. The second one is the UPC code. They didn't start putting UPC codes on the albums. I think 1981, might be 1982. But I think it's 1981 is when they started putting UPC codes on there. So that's kind of when I'm looking for stuff in that area. I always look and see, hey, is this an early pressing or is this a later pressing? In this case, I didn't really care. It's Jefferson Starship. The vinyl's really clean. I always pull the vinyl out and check the vinyl for, see what kind of wear it has. The vinyl's really clean, but the reason I bought this album is one song, song number 1, 2, side 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, White Rabbit. I think White Rabbit's a great song. Is it an acid trip? Is it LSD? Yeah, I'm sure that's what they're talking about, but it's a cool song. So Jefferson Airplane, Surrealistic Pillow, thank you. But yeah, I bought this for White Rabbit. Kind of excited to have this. I'll play it for Amy here in a little bit. You know the song.
I don't know which album you got at that one thrift store in Sepulpa, but
This
the
one.
guy at the register is like, "Did you check the album?"
Mm-hmm.
He was cool.
And I'm
because
like,
people don't ever ask that.
and I'm like, yeah, brother, I check it on every album I buy.
But I thought it was cool that he asked that.
Yeah,
because people don't care.
Yeah, he was a cool guy.
He was a cool cat.
He was cool.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's my little haul for the day. I don't know how much money I spent total, maybe $50. So, it's fun. If I don't, I'm gonna we might, I don't know. We'll see what we listen to. We might listen to a few. She might let me. We'll see how she's feeling.
If we're feeling real hoppy, maybe we'll go live.
Maybe we'll go live.
I mean, I don't know. Don't expect it, because I talk about things and I plan things and then I'm like,
don't
nah.
expect it.
Nah.
So, but
If we go live, it might be a surprise.
But if I have a few more of these, I might just go, baby, let's go live.
Let's go live.
It's time.
We have been getting requests for dancing. Even though it's the same song.
We do the same dance every time.
Because that's all we know how to do is
That's
to twirl.
always, and I'm lucky I know how to do that.
All we know how to do is twirl each other.
Twirl around.
Just
And
twirl around.
And mind you, we're working. I mean, I can't bust out in a Saturday Night Fever or anything like that because I don't have big enough space in there. That's like 6 by. Otherwise, I would.
You know what he can do? Here's another little Mike Maish secret. 2 secrets. First of all, if y'all didn't know, Shane Maish, Lover, Hoppy, DJ Swag, whatever your name is, on there.
Classic Music Machine.
Classic Music
Twitter
Machine.
@ Machine Classic is the Twitter handle.
I lost track of what I was going to say.
I don't either.
Oh, I remember. His first name's Michael. Michael Shane. Michael Shane Maish. MSM. Second thing,
Where is this going?
I had a point to our dancing. Now I lost it. We were talking about twirling and how we dance the same.
And she's like, and you know what else?
I don't remember. It'll come back to me.
And you know what about
Squirrel.
him?
This is Shane's video. When I remember, I'll bring it back.
You're
to
touching albums. Causes me duress.
Baby, tell him you love him, but the Lord loves him more.
Causes me duress. The Lord loves you. I love you more. I mean, the Lord loves you. I love you more.
When I remember what the second thought was, I'll bring it back to you. But I don't remember. You done?
Click. And
3, 2,
and
1. I just remembered what the second fun fact was about Shane. First fun fact was his first name is Michael. Michael Shane Maish. His whole life, everybody's called him Shane. So here we are. Second fun fact. He can dance to bluegrass music like nobody's business. So we were talking about how the only way we know how to dance is to twirl on the dance floor. Same song, same dance every time we post a video of me and Shane dancing. It's the same thing. But what y'all don't know is he can dance to some bluegrass. It's insane. Maybe someday, hopefully, I'll catch footage of that. But it's pretty incredible. So the reason I know that, real quick, is because when we first met, we were about a year deep in our relationship. We went to Eureka Springs. That's our favorite spot. And we went to a restaurant bar called Chelsea's. If you guys have been to Eureka, you're familiar. And there was a band there that night called, what is it called? Honky Honeysuckle, or something like that. and they played bluegrass, like overalls, bare feet, banjos, bluegrass. Ding, 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 like bluegrass. And we got on the dance floor, and Shane whipped out some kind of magic footwork, and he had a whole circle of people surrounding him. I swear there was about 50 people in a circle around him watching him bust out some kind of hillbilly bluegrass magical foot number, and everybody in the club bought it. And I was like, he has no clue what he's doing, but it looks great. Like, it looks amazing. Like he was doing it. He drew a crowd. It's so funny. Anyway, that's the second fun fact about Shane, and hopefully one day I'll be able to catch that on film again. Okay. Okay. Love you. The Lord loves you more. The Lord loves you more, not him. He doesn't love you more. The Lord does. Bye.